Hi everyone, I'm here in my kitchen and as promised, I'm going to show you today how I clean my silver jewelry. You could also use this on silverware if you have silverware at home that's that really nice real silver, maybe heirloom silverware that you have, things that have been passed down. This is a really easy way to clean those things naturally with things that you already have at home. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you the things you'll need. Some towels, some cotton pads, and cotton swabs if you want to polish up your jewelry. And of course your tarnished items, your tarnished silver. So I want you to take a look at this stuff. It was pretty badly tarnished. And I chose pieces that were a little bit tricky, more intricate. So you could see that this method really does get them clean. So this ring has a lot of detail. This next piece is an heirloom from my grandmother. It was given to my mother and now it's mine. And I chose some intricate pieces, some pieces that are really hard to clean, just so I can show you that this method is tried and true and it's safe to use on everything. So you're going to need a glass dish and some baking soda. We are a multicultural family, so some of my labels are in Spanish. We have some foil, a regular aluminum foil. I use the shiny side up, but I really don't think it matters. You'll need a container that you can measure, a measuring cup, and a smaller measuring cup for your baking soda. So what we're gonna do is add a 1/4 cup of baking soda to about 500 milliliters or about 2.5 cups, 2 to 2.5 cups of boiling water. And you want to make sure your container is bigger than the volume of water you're going to use so you don't spill over. So now I'm lining my my dish with the foil, and you just want to make sure you have a surface area on the bottom that's touching the dish so it can maintain the heat. Now we're going to add the boiling water, and like I said, make sure your container is larger than the volume of water you're adding, because it does tend to bubble over, and I think you'll see that in a minute. So I'm adding 500 milliliters of water to a 1/4 cup of baking soda, and you want to stir, as you can see it bubbling, and you want to stir until it's dissolved, and eventually the water will look clear. And your solution is ready. So don't wait too long, don't let it cool down. You want to add your jewelry and make sure it's touching the foil and make sure it's submerged in the solution. Now I left my other pieces out because I was planning to show you the chemical solution, but I figured there's so many tutorials on that already, even from the companies who make these chemicals, so I'd rather just show you this method, the natural method. So you'll see later I put in the other pieces as well. Now I want you to notice, I know my dish was a little too high, but if you can see, there's a lot of bubbling going on, and you could already see the jewelry actually turning nice and white. So it's working. You just want to let it sit. I'm a little impatient, so I kind of move my things around and I want to see that it's working, but you just want to let it sit. Now here's that super tarnished ring. It'll focus in a minute. It's super tarnished ring that has a lot of detail to it. So I'm going to toss it in there just so you could see that this method works even on really detailed surfaces, on really detailed jewelry. And like I said, make sure it's touching the aluminum foil. That's what causes the reaction to happen. So again, I'm just fidgeting with these things, moving them around. And then you wait. It really doesn't take too long. And you could soak them a little longer, but the heat does go down, so you want to make sure the water's nice and hot. Now with this necklace, it's pearl and coral, so I don't like to submerge it completely. I only submerge the silver clasp at the end of the necklace. And again, you want to make sure it's touching the foil so that you can have that reaction happen and it whitens the silver. So I'm just going to hold it in for a few seconds, and I want you to see just with that little bit the difference. It's really nice and bright, and I know the loop wasn't as tarnished as the little bar, but you can see there's quite a difference. So I turned the lights on here. It was quite a gloomy day, but I just want you to notice again how nice and bright it got. So I'm going to dip in the other section just for a few seconds, and it's already making a difference. So ideally you would want to soak those pieces just a little longer, but for the sake of saving time, I'm going to take my pieces out and show you how they turned out. Now you want to pat them dry, and what you want to do, you can see this piece, the silver around those stones got a lot brighter, and even the band. So like I said, you could soak them even more or repeat the process if you want them to get a little brighter. And this was that ring that was really dark and tarnished, and look at how nice it turned out, and it didn't even soak that long. So like I said, you could leave them in a little longer, but what I want to do now is clean up, and after you've soaked your jewelry or your silver, you want to rinse them with cold water. And look at how nice. As you saw, this method is super easy and super cheap. I forgot to mention, this is so inexpensive, and your items will look just like new. Alright you guys, you saw how beautiful this jewelry turned out. I'm always amazed, no matter how many times I do this, at how clean and shiny it gets. And because you're only using baking soda and some hot water, you can repeat this process over and over again, and you don't have to worry about damaging your silver. I hope you like this method. I think it's great. I love using it, and I hope it's helpful to you. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.